Hello everyone, thanks for your time. My name is Alejandro Anglada. This is a presentation for the College 100 class, focusing on my career of choice, environmental science. Let me quickly define what is environmental science. In a nutshell, it studies how nature supports life and how human actions affect ecosystems. How do they do this? Environmental scientists' work can be summarized with identifying sources of threat against environments that support life. Once armed with this information, they can conduct the research to learn how to help or advise others on how to improve situations. Salaries, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics of the U.S. Department of Labor, states that it's about $67,500 per year, or about $32.50 per hour. The outlook for this job field is increasing faster than average, mainly due to global warming and climate change, which should make all of us a little bit nervous. So why am I interested in this field? Let's go back to the first picture. This is me and my daughter in the beautiful main tank of the Georgia Aquarium. I love the sea, and it's one of the most threatened areas in the world. And one of the species that is increasingly being more threatened is the coral. And honestly, I want my daughter to enjoy the sea as I do. So if I want to become an environmental scientist and I also want to save the coral, I need to know a few things, like what is a coral as an organism, what is their role in their ecosystems, how do they move around the ecosystems, and how they support the lives of others and how others affect it. One of the main areas that affects corals right now is the coral bleaching, and I need to understand what is causing global bleaching and how to stop it. And since I want to have hands-on approach, I need to learn how to scuba dive. Not only scuba dive, I also need the advanced lessons to be able to spend as much time as possible in the sea, carrying equipment and doing everything I need to do underwater. So what are the corals? Corals are sessile animals, which is a fancy word for animals that anchor themselves. They spend their entire lives in one spot, only moving at night mainly. They form colonies and they unite with each other in the exoskeletons, forming colonies that form rocks, so they are rocky structures, or fan structures. They come in various colors. And they're predominantly found around the equatorial belt. They prefer shallow waters, but they could be also found in deeper oceans. So why are they bleaching? Corals have algae inside called zooxanthellae. They form a symbiotic relationship with this algae, and due to stress, the coral expels these cells, leaving it in a bleached state with the exoskeleton exposed. Once it's bleached, the coral becomes vulnerable to disease and other species of algae until it becomes overrun and eventually dies.
Warming temperature is not the only reason for corals to expel the algae. Ocean acidification is an increased concern in the scientific community. The ocean is absorbing carbon faster than it can use it. This lingering carbon eventually changes into more acidic compounds, changing the overall pH level in the ocean. This stresses the coral, forcing it to release the algae, thus starting the bleaching events. The effects of acidification can worsen when other pollutants are introduced as well. Not all is bad news. There are tons of efforts being conducted worldwide that are focusing on increasing resiliency on the reefs. Some species are proven to be more resistant to heat, and nurseries like the one on these pictures are restoring the reefs in the Caribbean. Sinking ships or creating artificial barriers provide surface areas for the corals to thrive in. Designating areas as safe havens help colonies to grow with less stress from overfishing or direct human interactions. There are some species of algae that can grow on top of the corals, basically stressing the corals from competition. Basically, this algae goes on top of it and steals the light that the coral needs to thrive. There are some species like the urchin and the parrotfish that eats this algae, and some of these fish have been overfished or have died from diseases. Some efforts are being conducted to help these species bounce back from extinction. So, in a quick summary, I want to go out there as an environmental scientist and help understand what is causing this magnificent creature, the corals, to die out. I want to be able to teach my daughter what they used to look like when I was younger, and I saw these beautiful ecosystems thrive. So thank you all for your time. I hope you can help me save the coral reefs worldwide, and please take a look at what you can do in your local settings and help.